All right, so an update, as you guys know, over the last 5.5, 6 days after we found out what was going on and we had some issues, we set a goal to raise another $40,000. I am super proud to announce that over the weekend, we have already raised over $27,517, man. That is incredible. So I know I heard all you guys clapping virtually. I get it, you're muted, but that is a massive, massive goal that we've hit so far. And we still intend on doing more. There's, you'll see in some of the updates. And in a second, I'm going to show you where some of those funds are being sent. But we have several additional strategic meetings to hold with the leadership of Mission 823 to ensure that we're allocating the proceeds to the things that are needed the most, so that we can get the best bang for the buck. I will say that I am exhausted. We've been on the phone with people from all over the world, literally, no joke, in chats. My wife's a little tired of that too, but she understands the why. So there are a lot of different people from all over the world that are joining forces, collaborating, tapping into their networks and resources to really, really help out. And so I just wanted you to know that. I'll talk more about what we need to do as a company. But I'm so proud that in 5 days, between a few social media posts and a couple of emails, we've got almost $30,000 ready to go for this. So it's a big, big win. Now, we still need more money. We still need to really help and support. But I feel like this is a great accomplishment to get the ball rolling and build some massive momentum. All right, so let's go into the next piece to kind of give you guys an update, if you will, of what's going on with some of these proceeds and what are some of the efforts. Steve and I have been to Ukraine, and we have actually been in Camp Willow Park. So I want to start there real quick with regards to shelter and housing update. Over the weekend, we have helped mobilize over 30 families from Camp Willow Park to actually go to Romania into a safe haven for now. And so it's been a logistical nightmare because we don't have vans yet. We're about to buy one right now that we have some of the proceeds, but they were able to, with cars, carpool, and take 30 people to the border. Then as soon as that group left, we brought in an additional 20 children, and those children now are being housed in Camp Willow Park with adults. And we're trying to figure out at some point whether they're going to stay there permanently or if these are other children we're going to move forward to Romania. The problem with the kids is a little bit more complicated because you got to make sure that there's a legal guardian or chaperone to be with them. You can't just drop them off on the border and wish them best. So that's one of the things we're looking at. In addition to that, some of you guys know him. Tatiana, you and I got to hang out with this guy quite a few times when we were in Ukraine. And Steve, Roman has been an amazing blessing, really, really awesome guy. He's operating out of a church in Ivano-Frankivsk, I believe is how you pronounce it. And they have converted the church, which is some of the pictures you're seeing on the bottom of the screen. They have actually converted it to additional housing for people that need shelter. And we have had the privilege and honor of supporting all the bunk beds that are creating the opportunity for us to have more density. So this is your efforts, guys, going into this. So we're super excited about that. We have also ensured with this capital raise that we have a minimum of at least 30 days to support roughly 50 to 60 people with clothing, food, water, and housing. And so that's a huge win right now for those lives of those people that are there with us. Just to show you some additional pictures, I think that puppy itself gripped my heart. You can even see that the dog himself is scared because of the bombings that he's hearing. So just to give you perspective, even down to animals are feeling the stress of this war. And up there you see some of the bunk beds. Steve, this is where we used to hold the events right there, that big room, remember? That big room now has been converted to nothing but bunk beds so that we can fit as many people as possible. So again, what you guys are doing matters, and I want you guys to see it and really connect with it, because this is why we're working so hard right now to perform. The more resource, the more those lives that we can change, and you have a direct impact. On another update, we want to talk about border support. We've connected with some pretty incredible people. One of them, his name is Salem, super awesome guy, just kind of one of the most bold and courageous guys I think I've ever met. We've been on countless calls. Last night he was crying on the phone with me, just desperate because he needed resources. He's dying to go out there. He gave a lady his word that he would get a vehicle to take 30 people from the border in Odessa, and the people that promised the vehicle last minute backed out on him. And so he's like, I gave her my word, I gave her my word. So we were just frantically working through things to see if we can help. So to kind of give you an update, our local team is assisting and supporting Ukrainians in the border with food as they wait. As you can imagine, it is freezing cold out there. Tatiana is a witness. It's not like you walk through a line, you get there. It takes days and days and days to get people out there, and it is freezing cold. So one of the things that you see those cups, we've been a part of supporting, put that together. So you guys are a part of that very meal. We started doing some of the little noodle soups, the little Roman noodle soups, so we can get hot water, give them food. So we're warming them up while we're feeding them right now. And while we get some additional food, these are actual photos of our team doing that physically. We partnered, because Mission 823, to give you perspective, is right now, they can't get to the Kyiv. I mean, there's bombing going on. That's a whole nother story I could talk about. Kyiv is on the west, so they're able to go to Romania. They're trying to go to Poland, but Poland is a little far. So as I'm sure Tatiana knows, it's a little bit different. So this section here is Moldova. And so it's dropping people basically south as fast as they can get them. So we've been able to work with this group who's doing an amazing job. They're sending transportation support now to move those. That's why I was up all night on the phone with people, trying to reach people. And when I tell you that we've talked to people from all over the world, I've been on the phone with people I've never met in my life that are just jumping on WhatsApp calls saying, hey, I've got a friend here. I'm reaching out to him. Please talk to him, tell him what you need. I mean, complete strangers that are reaching out to me on Instagram saying, what can I do to help? And I have to translate because they're writing in Russian, so I have no idea what they're saying. So like, it's just been an incredible thing to see. So it looks like we have at least, at this point, 2 vehicles that are supplied for them that are gonna be there. And there's another nonprofit organization that if we help, they're gonna give us another 6 vans that they can just take and just have drivers back and forth. One sad thing, just to kind of give you perspective on this, it's so infuriating, but it's a part of life. We were trying to rent buses to get 50, 60 people on a bus to go in and out and ship them through. Obviously now they've stopped allowing any buses to go into Ukraine for obvious reasons. But even if you just got them to the border and you ship them off, you create more space so that you can get more people in. And the drivers went from a couple $1,000s per trip to $15,000 per trip. It's unsustainable. For that, I can buy a 15-passenger van, which is what we're trying to do now, is just buy them and get people that are bold to go out there and go. When we asked, why is this so expensive? They said it's not necessarily about the individual driver being afraid. They're more worried about their vehicle. And so that's their excuse for, you know, and it is what it is. You know what I mean? I don't want to like bash people, but those are the real problems these guys on the streets are having right now. So we need to get them more vehicles. Just so that you know, today we are pushing as well with our team to go to an orphanage in Odessa, where these kids, about 30 kids, are at risk. We had to get permits and all this stuff, so that's being finalized. And luckily, Roman connected us with somebody in Odessa who's going to meet Salam at the borders and transport him all the way to the place so they can pick people up, put them in the cars, and just bring them back. He just told me today in the morning, he's like, I don't care. He hasn't slept for 3 days. He's like, if I have to go back and forth at least 10, 20 trips, it doesn't matter. He's ready to go. They told him that there's some areas where it's already getting fired. He doesn't care. He's, I don't care if they're shooting bullets. We'll just put a little white flag on the car and just go and do what we have to do. So it's incredible what this team is doing and the heart that they have. So again, as of 5 a.m. this morning, we secured several vehicles and we're hoping to get a little bit more, but that's a big deal. And as you can see in the border, this is legit handing over food to people with lines of people that are cold. So again, your efforts are going into these lives. And so we're making a difference, even if you're not physically there. One of the things that I want to say, this is a really, really tough time, but I've noticed that it's in the darkest time that we really see the beauty of humanity and love. And so I can tell you that this chat started with 2 of us, and it's grown to 16 people from everywhere in the world who are tapping into their resources. There's actually a UN Council member that just joined this chat to help facilitate. They're working on getting a lot of resources. Some of us might be thinking, why isn't the government sending supplies? But the problem is they're putting it together, but it could take days, if not weeks, to get that type of food over there. So we're truly the immediate response in the streets. Like, people will not eat if we don't provide. And so they're going out there talking to people in the different borders, asking the women to cook. And so there's women literally cooking in their house and handing it over to someone else who drives to the border and starts helping to feed. So it's incredible to see the beauty in humanity from everywhere. It's beautiful. We had a really close scare. I got a message from Daniel, who's this gentleman here. And long story short, I was communicating with somebody and I sent a few screenshots that they had gotten some shelling in their house, and they were in Palanca. So I was amazed that they were even getting shelling. And then they showed me, he called me and he said, Rick, your friend in Palanca, it looks like the geo target where they are just got hit with a bomb. And I'm like, what? So I'm messaging, they're not responding. Luckily, they just responded about an hour ago saying they're okay. But again, I mean, it's incredible. It's a tough time, but people are coming together to really help. And that's really what we need to do, is be a part of the good instead of just being victims and spectators.
Thank you, Tim. And I want to tell two words. Big thank you that you help Ukrainian people on borders, because this is really difficult for now. It is cold outside. People are hungry. They have lack of petroleum. They are very in big and huge stress. You know, when people have some comfortable life, and then in 1 minute they lose everything, and it just looks like all of us are in safe place, but you know, this situation is a proof that this is illusion.
I agree.
So
100.
so thank you for all good things you're doing for my nation.